The only difference between bravery and insanity is not knowing when to quit. Welcome everyone, this is the Holy Hermit, and today we're looking at Diablo 3, Monster Power 10, and also I have in this video is a new build for you that works very well in Monster Power 10, at least on parts of it that is. Well, we're going to look at our primary attack, that is Way of 100 Fist with Fists of Fury to give us additional 100% damage, Sweeping Wind with Cyclone, why not? If we're fighting Ubers, why don't Uber gear ourselves? Blinding Flash with Faith and Light, again for extra DPS. That works very well with this build of course, because every time you cast it, well, you have an increased DPS, a massive increase to it. 7-sided Strike with Sustained Attack, so I'm not going for Pandemonium to stun them, rather than this time I'm going for a lower cooldown. Breath of Heaven with Blazing Wrath, increased DPS of course, and our only healing skill. Next up, we of course have Mantra of Conviction with Submission, so we're not going for overall again. This is a different build as I said, and I am sticking true to my word. On our passives we have Beacon of Yitar, Seize the Initiative, and One with Everything. So what you do see in this build over here will be the relation of the Beacon of Yitar with Blinding Flash and 7-sided Strike. Here we are. My damage right now is 128k. I have 5.4k armor and about 484. Yes, there you go, resist all. I have a 2.46 attack speed and a decent ratio of crit chance and crit damage. Remember, as I mentioned in my last video, a 10:1 ratio, that is. Now we're going to slowly move on forward to our videos. Well, I've got these new gloves and things, there's some showing these things off to you really. So yeah. Now we're going to move on to the main video, me playing with two of my friends. I'll introduce them first. Well, Sephiroth needs no mention I guess, he was already in one of my other Uber Monster Power 10 videos. Here he is again with his amazing whirlwind build. Also we have Mad King Emor. Well, he's got the Hota build. It all works well with the gameplay right now. I believe Sephiroth is also using a Hota in there, so yeah, he has got an ingenious build of his own, sorry. So the video you will see is be me basically cruising up to Monster Power 10, as in getting all the 5 stacks, and then I'm going to try and fight the Ubers. Now the special thing about this build is, and the way it works, I always mention the first crazy bit, that is, in this build you'll see I have no Serenity again. It's not that I hate it, but I just want to show you all that there are ways to play without it. A monk can work very well, as high as Monster Power 10, as in there is no harder difficulty than that. The only healing skill I have is, well, the normal healing one I guess, and I have Blazing Wrath on it, just to give me that extra DPS I need to dispatch monsters quickly. Well, relatively quick I guess, because they do take a lot of hits in this one. I also have Blinding Flash, well, to get extra DPS from it. As in, every time I cast it, for 3 seconds I do lots of damage. So but what is so special about this build, and why do I choose it? Well, starting off with the passive, I'll talk about Beacon of Yitar, that reduces your cooldown by 20%. That is a very essential part of this build of course. What that allows you to do of course is the cooldown reduction, but you times that with your Blinding Flash, that will reduce its cooldown. On the other side, my main damage dealing move, I'm not using Wave of Light this time, I am however using, well, 7-sided Strike, or Triple S I would like to call it. So its cooldown is already reduced to 23, and a 20% more reduction from my passive skill would allow me to, well, spam it as often as I can really. So that's the secret of this build. One thing we all need to understand on Ubers is they all have an ability to do a massive attack, an attack that is of course has a cooldown I believe on them somehow, so they can only do it once in a while, like, you know, Siegebreaker's 3-pronged attack. And this guy, well, Rakanoth, his spinning attack or his, you know, teleport attack on you. And the way that this build works is I try and avoid these attacks even happening. So the way I achieve that is that every time he's doing something spinny or not, I will cast blinding Strike on him. Well, yeah, I will try and blind him basically, and when my blind is on a cooldown, I will cast a 7-sided Strike. Of course, my Blinding Flash is gonna refresh a lot faster than, well, the 7-sided Strike, but still the balance would always be to have these two skills running up one after the other. I always keep my heal skill just in reserve. I will cast it every 45 seconds of course to get the damage boost, but all in all I am only cycling between build 1, as in my attack 1 Blinding Flash, and 7-sided Strike. Something else is also there, that is Mantra of Conviction. I am dealing additional damage from it, but there is no overall again, so of course the build is different, as I said and as I promised you in the beginning. What it does is it has Submission. Now Submission has a few benefits which the other one doesn't have. That is, if you're in a big mob, you're trying to gain those five stacks fast, it damages everyone around you for 30% of your main DPS. I have a fairly decent amount of DPS right now, 12k, so 12 times 3 is 36k, so every time anyone's near me, I am dealing 36k damage to them. So even when I'm attacking Rakanot, my dear friend Gom's also taking some damage from him. So there's a little variation over there for you. Again, no Thunderclap, as I always say. I'm going for, well, Way of 100 Fist, as in Fist of Fury, to give me extra damage, 5% sustain, 100% sustain damage or 5 seconds. So this is the build for you. It works very well on Monster Power 10. We were easily able to defeat these guys over here. So there's that build. Give it a go. Tell me how it works for you. As I said, this is again a unique build with only one heal centric skill, and rest everything comes from, well, spamming the blinding flash with the 7th dual triple S, that is. I hope you like this short video of mine. This was Monster Power 10. We did try and go further, I'll be honest with you, but we didn't have a wizard, so we couldn't beat Leoric and the other, well, Magda. So it does work on most occasions, but if you have a decent party, I had a great party by the way, but we did need someone to revive us on that, so we weren't able to accomplish that. But nonetheless, here we are, these two parties over here, these two monsters, Ubers, we were able to beat them all. This has been the Holy Hermit for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you will. I'm out for now. Thanks very much for listening. Bye.